Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening again, family. Here we are. We're oh man, I'm telling you, this is just like getting unreal. So we got Pope Francis with double lung pneumonia. So we're told. We got Elon, and I don't know if that's happened, but I presume it would have already happened. But they want to have a chat and a sit down today. In the past 24 hours, we've had about 4 or 5 DOJ resignations, all at top level. Homes in Washington for sale, just the stuff we've gone over, guys. It is panic in the deep state in DC, and isn't it unreal? Isn't it, for once, just unreal to watch these rats just like, all that information we're giving you. I don't think it's manipulated, guys. I think that's coming from, the actual stuff that's going on. They're looking for lawyers. They're looking for this. But, while you're doing it a little bit tough, guys, they gave you a little interest rate, I hear, on the mortgage. What nice people they are, Listen to this, guys. This is what your Labor Party's doing out there. Apart from taking all the money that we've been showing you on the show, how they work their little thing when they pass it all down the line, and they end up with $5 now they're giving themselves for each vote. So hypocrisy and shallowness, $110,000 ticket, $110,000, guys, ticket to Australian politicians in lead up to the election. Now, these are the people, all right? These are part of the lobbyist groups, right? As Australia's major parties stitched together a deal on donation laws in Parliament last week, a small group of well-heeled business leaders gathered for dinner at the Cahoots Bar, a short drive across Lake Burley-Griffin. Before they arrived at QT, Canberra's private dining room, they walked past the hotel's political wall of power, adorned with portraits of former prime ministers. It's all added to a sense of occasion. Some had paid as much as $110,000 for an invitation. Others handed over $4,000 to secure a seat. These people were members of federal Labor business forums, professional networking and fundraising vehicle who had helped bankroll the party in return for a 2-hour boardroom dinner. Like, What? They think these people are superstars or something. 2-hour dinner, they're giving that much money. Invites billed the dinner's star attraction is the Deputy Prime Minister, Richard Marles. Well, Richard Marles, right, was actually doing a news show on television, right? And he wasn't even there. So, again, like, just unbelievable. But, Albanese behind it, the Guardian Australia, a personal invitation for an exclusive intimate dinner with Albanese in an undisclosed Sydney venue on March the 12th will also be coming up. All right, so some undisclosed, keep your ears open, guys. The dinner is capped at 10 people and the cost is not disclosed, probably a couple of $100,000 each. The event has been described as a special opportunity to build a relationship with Albanese. Well, there you go. Oh, it's just unbelievable the money that people are willing to pay, you know what I mean, and the way that this whole rorted system works. So, fighting against this rorted system is a gentleman and a couple that we're about to bring in now. I don't know if Caz is right, but she can drop the guests in if she wants. Hi, guys. How you going? On the road again. Just can't wait to be on the road again. All right.
G'day.
So give us your road report, guys. I hope you're kicking some deep state butt. What's going on?
Well, you can go ahead, Derek. Well, Dave, thanks for letting us come back again. A lot of things have happened since we last saw you. We were in the district court in Parramatta on Monday, and this lady, Nika is her name, and she is taking on the Blacktown City Council Corporation. And she's put in all of her papers, and she's also said we're using the document that if they really, 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 really want the money, we're going to use the paperwork from the Department of Attorney General, New South Wales, to pay with our birth certificate.
On you guys. Wow. Cool. So that's when, Derek? Let's get that out so that people hear that again. Repeat that date.
Okay.
We need people to be there in Sydney, guys.
Right. So Nika went in to appeal the case from the local court in Penrith, where they just steamrolled over all the paperwork because we're all guilty, we're all criminals. And so she's appealing it at the District Court of New South Wales in Parramatta. She was there on Monday the 17th, and she's returning on Wednesday the 26th of February.
Okay, righto. Wednesday the 26th. If anyone can get to Parramatta Court there, District Court, that's what we need, guys. Yep, this is how it works, all right? We were talking just before the show, and, it gives people a lot of confidence when other people turn up with them, guys. You don't believe what it does, you know what I mean, to have the backing of other people, supporting you. So, yeah, it needs to be done. So what else, Derek? I know you've got a few on your plate, mate.
Now, I'll just go into one more thing, is our friend Gordon, who's actually a family friend of Eric and Serena's. He had his federal court case, which is from the District Court of New South Wales. They didn't like the answer. We didn't like the answer, so it was taken upstairs to the federal court. They cancelled his hearing, and 4 months later, they've now started garnishing his bank account for $2,000 a hit because they want to get this money and they don't have a leg to stand on because they gave us, the finance company gave Gordon the New South Wales birth certificate document. So I've got two cases now in Sydney about we have a right to discharge our corporate and government debts with our birth certificates. So we're sharing this with you and your audience because this is a Sydney problem, and it starts in Sydney with your premier on the hook that he now has to honour his own document.
Beautiful, guys. So the pressure's on. Well done, Derek. Well done, you two couple there. I know you guys have been through hell and back in the last 18 months. You can see you got a bit of a smile on your face at the moment, Eric. So, yeah, continue that, mate, and take it with you. We have got these guys. We've got these guys.
I'm going to pass it over to Eric and Serena, who you can see. Eric and Serena are going back into the Wodonga Law Court for a 5-day trial on the 17th of March. And we're appealing to people in New South Wales and Sydney we can put together a bus to join the people in Melbourne on a bus, and at least if we can get people for 1 day to join us on the 17th of March to say that this domestic violence against women on our own properties has got to stop. And here's Eric. So, Eric, do you want to just say a couple of words about we're looking for support for that day?
Yeah, look, we tried this a couple of times, didn't work, so I'm bloody glad it's worked this time. If I say something I shouldn't, I apologise in advance because my mouth has a tendency to run away with me with language from time to time. But anyway, look, at the end of the day, what can I say? I heard my wife screaming. I race out. My daughter takes off. I get out. There's a police officer pulling up across our driveway at near 90 degrees. And I'm wondering what the heck has just happened. My wife's laying on the ground screaming, and I opened the door of the car. And I asked the police officer, what happened? Have you run over my wife? And he goes, no, she's all right, mate. She's just bumped off the side of the car and she's putting on an act.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for anybody that's been in that situation, I'll tell you, I honestly felt like something broke. It's like something physically.
We actually showed the photos and that on the last time when you couldn't get in, Eric,
I'm just looking for
our viewers were blown away, mate.
Yeah.
We were blown away.
What happened to Serena was it was just it tears at your heart to see the person that you love injured, and I didn't know the extent of the injury at the time. I saw our daughter Alex, and at the time I think she was only just 20. And she was, she was with her mum. And all this time, the police officer was just saying, look, she's fine. She's putting on an act. And every time he said that, it just made me worse. I was under an enormous amount of stress at the time. And
I'd like to say on your wife's behalf that she wasn't putting on the act. The act that was getting put on here, Eric, was the actual uniformed cartoon clowns that turned up at your premise to harass you in some uniform, wielding guns, capsicum spray, and battens and whatever else they wanted to rule. There is the rule. Yeah.
I think the thing that I've learned over time, over watching the body worn camera footage and everything that's happened, I'm not a natural angry person. These police officers, they've got families as well. And not that I'm trying to stick up for them, because I'm not. But the thing is, basically, they've stuffed up big time. And they're trying to cover their ass for it. They are in so much trouble for what happened on our property. And till this date, till this very minute, nobody has recognised in the court and nobody has recognised in the police that my wife was run over. No one. Zero in the law. Not one person.
Well, hopefully
we've got this picture here we've got this picture here where she's actually got tyre marks.
Yes.
And she wasn't run over.
Yeah, and the police officer saw that tyre mark. We've got footage from our daughter's camera showing him looking straight at it, and basically they realised what had happened, and they just wanted to get out of there. They wanted to arrest me, of which they did, and they want to get out of it. And it all comes down to one thing. We put the no trespass sign up to help protect ourselves against a situation like this. The way society is travelling towards, it's people that have been put in this situation realise that it's like I said earlier, I got thrown legally, I got thrown in the deep end at the swimming pool, thrown straight into it. I had to learn how to work with the legal system. And we didn't have, the quote was, the starting figure to defend the case was between $30,000 and $50,000. And we didn't qualify for legal aid, and we have not got that money. We haven't got it. And so I've been representing myself, and the more I understand the system, the more I realise how far the corruption goes. It is absolutely unbelievable. The way that the police have been protected, the way that they haven't recognised what happened to Serena. But yeah, we're only one of many things that have happened. So, but
Yeah, that's
but
right.
the thing is,
the courts have got
yeah.
a lot up against them.
Oh yeah. I've been lucky that I've had the time to read and understand. And the one thing, I say one thing, I've learnt a lot. But if you're ever going to go to court over a situation, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. But just take this one thing in: you will not win a case with words. If you just go in there with words about what happened on the day and blah, 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 the magistrate will completely discard you, because they're not courtrooms. It's like a lot of people say, all they're interested in is how much money they can make, what they can do with a person who they believe's done something wrong. Emotion won't be allowed in the courtroom. They just don't want to bring that in. And I've got, I've still got a battle ahead of us. But without Derek helping us, I'd be lost. I'd be absolutely lost. I'll tell you that right now. The affidavits that have been put in, and I've done some pretty controversial things in the system. There's a lot of information that that can be used in a courtroom that people don't even know about. You've got to look at the acts. I've spent the last 6 months, I've read about 10 acts. I started to look, just my experience, who is, like, in the Crown Proceedings Act. In Victoria, the police are not servants or agents of the Crown. Well, who's the Crown? Well, the Crown's supposed to be the king, right? So you start to follow the path, and it all goes back to Public Administrations Act. And all the magistrates, the police and everything, they're all employed by the Public Administrations Act. You can see it. It's just every piece of information that we ever need is there. But we've got to go and look for it. And I've found, in our case, I'm going to use everything that I can of their law against them. And they won't like it, because normally, here's something really interesting. In different court systems around the world, I think it's a European one. I listened to a ABC radio, a bloke doing talkback radio, and I got on the internet and just started looking. Eventually I found stuff. But here in Australia, the way the system works, or the way I understand it works, normally you got the prosecution, and you've got, in my case, I'm the accused. So really simply, normally I'd get a solicitor. My solicitor would talk to the prosecution, right, and talk to me, and everybody knows what's going on within the system, right? Now, in the case of the police inform, no, they won't tell you this, but the police inform the court. They let the court know what's going. The solicitor lets the court know what's going, right? But the evidence is controlled by the police, in my case, by the police, and what you would think would be, if I'd got a solicitor, it would have been by the solicitor. But because there's no solicitor, the police and the solicitor haven't got control of the evidence. When there's the two of them, if they choose not to put a specific type of evidence into a courtroom, they make the decision not to admit it as evidence. So the deals are struck all the time. But in Europe, sorry, excuse me, all the evidence gets given to the judge. And unless you've got a crook judge, the judge looks at the evidence and then allows the two people to basically present. And we don't do that in Australia.
We don't. We just got to deal with the corrupt system we've got, and you're doing very well at doing it. And Derek is helping a lot of people out doing that. So, Derek, just your last comments before these couple of court cases, mate. Just repeat again when they are, where they are. They're in the comments, and we'll get them out there. And yeah, good luck, guys. Go and take them on. Beautiful.
Right, Dave and Caz, thanks again for the chance to speak to your audience. If people in Sydney would want to get in contact with you to get in contact with us, we would love to be able to find a way to hire a bus in Sydney to be there on Monday, the 17th of March. That's Eric and Serena's case, 17th of March. We need to say that this domestic violence against women on our own properties has got to stop immediately. This would make such an impact. And we're going to do the same thing from Melbourne, is to get a busload of people who have got people contacting me. This would send such a message. I've got a man in Brisbane who's organising 25 people to come from Brisbane to be there on that day. So Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, this would send a shockwave about this story.
People.
Yep.
Yeah, who needs to do a road trip? Who can go? Like, get yourselves organised. 17th of March. There's a great 5-day event.
That's it. And then finally, Dave and Caz, this lady Nika, who is fighting the Blacktown City Council Corporation, she's returning to the District Court in Parramatta Wednesday, the 26th of February. And this is the case that we have got the birth certificate document from your state government. We are legally allowed to discharge our government and corporate debts with a birth certificate. It's in the courtroom.
Well, we'll be wanting you back as soon as you've been in there and done that. We'll be wanting you back on before you go into this 5-day hearing, Derek, to give us an update, mate, and get you all motivated.
Will do.
All good.
Will do, Dave. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
You.
Good luck. And, we'll hear from you again very soon. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Eric. Bye, Serena.
Look, it's interesting. They don't like it when we stand up, and they don't like it when we turn up. And this is the situation that happened at Casey Council.
Trier, who's the owner of the unregistered vehicles in question that David Limbrick, our MP for South East Metro, did a video with earlier in the week. How's the response been? What's been...
The response has been overwhelming from politicians to the media to the support of local people, the car scene, the car enthusiasts. It's been amazing.
All right, we are going to begin. We'll resume at 7:45. All councillors and staff vacate the council chamber for 10 minutes.
So we basically, they say that they're adjourning until 7:45. I doubt they'll be back. And I reckon it's pretty likely this might happen at every subsequent meeting they have. It was a pretty unhappy crowd. To have 2 unregistered vehicles on your land, and everyone was like, what do you mean? We can have as many vehicles as we like on our land.
Culturally, the people who are on that side of the barrier have no connection with the reality of the suburbs that they're...
We'll leave that there, but they called the police. So the police were called. So very interesting. We'll be interested to see how that plays out in the future, because they were mad. They were really mad.
This is what we got to do, folks, okay? I mean, we got to be in control, all right? But I'm sure the good Lord was in control the day he actually flipped the temples, the tables in the temple. I'm sure he was in complete control, knew exactly what he was doing. All right.
People don't understand. No, hang on. Let's just stop there. You know what he actually did? He was in control, all right? He sat down and he made a whip. Now, for those of you that work in the country, you know that to make a whip, it's actually a 4-way plait that's with leather. It's a long time. It'd take you 3 hours to make a whip. So he made the whip, and then he went and did it. So, he knew exactly what he was doing, all right? All right.
We know exactly what we're doing, so let's go get them, guys, because we've got the ammunition. It's called the truth. Okay?
That's it. Look, thank you to Rocco. He has actually done a report, a local report. Please, everybody, keep getting your reports into us. This is on the growing homelessness in Sydney in his area.
This is Rocco Vardy, just reporting to you from Horston Park, Sydney. On this strip alone, this is by the park. Every day I see some new cars pull up, and I'm not going to wake these people up. They're sleeping in their cars. I can count 2 cars today. We're just going to go up past the first one. You can see that one there. The homeless situation in Sydney is just getting out of control. I mean, how the fuck do Australians, have a life, such a miserable life where they have to, the cost of living is so high that they have to resort to sleeping in their cars. We're coming up to the second car now, and I'll tell you a story after we go past the second car. They're obviously sleeping as they're sleeping up ahead there. And the thing is, what I saw yesterday, I saw some clever people. They bring camping stoves. They're cooking up their breakfast. They just have it. They take it out of the boot of their car, and there's always something new each day. And I thought it's about time I start reporting this, but it's just getting out of hand. It's all because you fuckers. I'm not saying. Look, the majority of Australians are decent, hard-working, but there's a lot of fuckers out there who just keep paying their fines, paying their fucking rates, complying with the system that's causing this hell on earth for Australians. Anyway, that's all I can say is it's I can't believe every day something new. I see new vehicles pull up, and I just thought I'd report it. Rocco, sending tremendous love.
Thank you, Rocco.
Good on you, Rocco. And it's terrible, guys, and all by design, right? Your government, they're telling you that you have to go in and vote for some of these cretins, all right, in the next couple of months, okay, is doing this by design. Penny Wong, 4th house, $3.4 million. Albo's new mansion, $4.3 million, whatever it was. Are you kidding me, guys? Where do these politicians get all this money from? I'm just wondering. We know where. All right, and now we're exposing it all. And these guys, Australia's going to be found out too, guys. All right, there'll be a Doge in Australia.
The interesting thing about it is that while they're living the high life, our people are begging to keep their jobs keep the sheep.
Sheep create 12 months a year jobs.
We employ people to come out and do casual sheep labour, or we've got full-time stockmen on our farm. We obviously need trucks coming in to transport our sheep, so you've got the truck drivers. We need stockies to come out to sell our sheep, so that's employment there.
So live export means more jobs means more people, and no government can give us more people in these communities, and this is what these communities need to survive.
We need to keep them here, to work the sheep. Keep the sheep.
Keep the sheep.
Stand with our rural communities.
So, all right, they've gone into it. They're using that as a vote thing, but they're saying no Labor. But look, the thing is, it's both sides. It's all sides of the politics, Yep. So anyway,
look, they're putting Dutton in anyway. I can tell you guys, we all know what's going to happen. Okay, that's exactly what's going to happen. So we we'll just continue to talk about it on the weeks coming up. We've got some ideas. We're watching the environment out there. And, we'll, try and gather momentum with something or create something that is going to gather momentum with something else or whatever's out there, right, to push back, because that's what we're going to have to do, guys. There comes a time when, the whole forward line, midfield and back line has to actually unite, right, to press forward and score the goal. Okay, and that's what we need to do at the moment.
That's it. All right, so look, let's bring on the flyers. We've got lots happening around the place at the moment. And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. This affects every worker and every business. New South Wales under a corrupt government. Enough is enough. We won't stay silent and we demand action. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. Come and celebrate our freedom and support for each other, our culture, and play music at the 832 muster from the 7th to the 9th of March 2025. The location is at Rollins Plains Recreational Reserve. The address is 28 Bilberil Road, Rollins Plains, which is 40 minutes northwest of Port Macquarie. The 832 muster will be at Deniliquin, New South Wales, 28 to the 31st of March. And a reminder to contact the offices of Chris Minns, Ryan Park and Paul Scully. They are invited to come on the show Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot and have a debate with Dave. And the people from Protect Our Australian Heritage have been meeting at the Captain Cook statue in Hyde Park. They will be doing it again on Saturday the 22nd of February at 4 p.m. Another special mention in Wodonga Courthouse for Eric Lord on the 25th of February. The hearing is now on the 7th of March. Eric Lord versus Vic Pol. It will be a 5-day hearing commencing on the 17th of March at Wodonga Courthouse. Eric is charged with assaulting a police officer that as they drove onto his property, knocking down his wife, running her over and resulting in a broken pelvis. And in Victoria, we have the following events. In Melbourne, gather at the Governor's every Saturday to end the tyranny. 10 a.m. every Saturday at the Governor Gates. And there will be a convoy in support of Russia's defenders of the fatherland. There is a free barbecue, flags, etc. On Sunday, the 23rd of February at 11 a.m. Meet at Sydney's Russian Consulate, 7 to 9 Fullerton Street, Woollahra, Sydney. In Canberra, every day for over 1,000 days, the freedom fighters have been protesting at the Governor-General's. To join in, meet at the National Rock Garden at 10 a.m. to expose the 28, or tune in on YouTube at #ExposeThe28. And Dan Tilda's Designs, who offer handmade t-shirts and custom designs, have all of these $10 for one, $15 for two, $18 for three, plus postage. So head over to Dan Tilda's Designs on Facebook. And the People's Revolution will be holding a rally at the Queen's Garden in Brisbane CBD on Saturday the 22nd of February at 2:22 p.m. With only 5 years until 2030, keep pushing. And say no to the view tax. Join the protest march on Tuesday the 18th of March at 10 a.m. Meet at Surfers Paradise Beach opposite Montmartre Cafe, the corner of the Esplanade and Elkhorn Avenue. Bring placards and banners. We march to Hota Council Chambers. And in Western Australia, there will be a rally against the offshore wind turbines and net zero insanity. March the 1st at 10 a.m. at Parliament House Courtyard in Perth. A daily prayer space is held on X at 3 p.m. So whatever you're facing, come along and we can lift you up in prayer. Every day, 3 p.m. on X. Melissa 146233923.
Hey guys, let's get out and get these Labor stooges, right, on record, all right? They're out around the community, guys. If they were out Sunday morning when I was heading down the coast, all right, for my grandson's birthday, right, they're going to be out every weekend, all right? They've started, okay? So I want film of them, guys. Walk up, tell them China's building 6 a week, all right? And why are we shutting all that out? Go and hit them with the info on live, on camera, and get it into a show, right? And let's start putting these Muppets on, because I'm going to get them here. I don't want to say too much because they won't come down. But when I do, they'll run. You know, I'm going to have to get them by stealth. Guru will be up a tree hanging, you know, just waiting. I'll get Mel to film me jumping out of the tree. And no worries, I'll do that.
All right, now we also have, there's a house sitter that's needed for a farm for 1 month, free accommodation, free food for the right person. It's $100 per week to feed the animals and look after the animals. 20 minutes west of Maryborough, Queensland. We also still need a house in the Ipswich area, and we have somebody who has a house 100 clicks north of Tamworth who wants some freedom people in there. So
There you go. You want a bit of peace and quiet, guys? Bit of what do they call it? Serenity. You get paid $100 to just go and hang with the animals and look after someone's house for a month. There's, mate, what a better, some of you people that are traveling around, you get out your car for a minute, you know what I mean? Settle down, relax, get ready to go again. So, yeah, good opportunities. Thank you to the people who are putting those opportunities out there for others, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Look, the big news of today, of course, is Clive Palmer and his trumpet of patriots.
Have pretended that Australia is in good economic shape by using immigrants' wealth every single year for over 20 years and boast them as the government's achievements to boost our economy, when in reality the government have done nothing for the people that they represent. Too many people in Parliament are worried about not holding their seat because they know they wouldn't get a job outside. I've been in this place. I've seen the quality of the people that operate in the opposition.
All right, so he said he's running on the fact that he's going to do Trump-esque style policies, which is very interesting. So, yeah, very interesting.
Bring it on. Bring it on. We need someone that's got some financial backing that can have a go that, I tell you, if anyone wants to step into the fray, and what a fray it is, we're going to hold you to account. We are going to hold you to account, all right? No one's going to manipulate the people again, all right? We don't need a leader, all right? We just need someone to help us with the infrastructure, Clive. Welcome on the show, Clive, anytime. Come on, have a chat. Tell the people what you think. I'm going to try and contact you. So if anyone knows Clive, actually, I know someone. I don't know how well they get on with Clive, but anyway, yeah. Come on and have a chat, Clive. Come on and have a chat, bro.
Come on. All right, we have a very interesting meme. This was made by one of our own. Here's an idea. I won't repeat the last line there. So, but thank you to the meme makers. There's not enough of them, and keep it up, please, and please keep sending us your stuff, and we shall show it on the show. So, yeah.
Make Australia great again. See you later, Albo. Bye.
We also have good news. So Selena Against the Machine has had her baby, very anticipated, and the baby appears healthy and everything else. So yeah, that's really awesome. We congratulate her.
Cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's it. Now this Doge, this is absolutely fascinating. So in the Doge News department actually put out that they had identified that there were 395 million active social security numbers. So this outnumbers the population of the entire US by around 60 million people. So
did you see the age of some of them, Caz? Did you see the age of some of these people? Oh, right. Okay.
Through that. Okay. So now Trump did a press conference. So at 200 there were 879 people that were aged between 200 and 209. There were 866 people that were aged between 210 and 219. There were 1,039 people aged between 220 and 229. There were 2 people aged between 240 and 249 years old. And there was one person who was 360 years old.
Where was Methuselah? Wasn't he on the list?
Oh, I don't know. It's fascinating stuff, but yeah. So
it's gold, isn't it? It's just absolute gold. It's like the biggest. It's sad, but it's a comedy. I don't know how to. When I heard that stuff, I was just going, "You are kidding me!" Like, how could they even think they were going to get away with something like that? Like, they don't care.
No, they don't. Now, also, Trump actually made this statement. Very interesting.
Mr. President, what's your secret weapon?
Cash.
What's your secret weapon? Cash, as in Cash Patel, I would say.
Well, apparently he's in tomorrow or something. It's got passed today or something. So, as far as I know, so yeah.
Okay. Now, around the world, there's some interesting developments. Just very quickly with there was the Austrian memorial. That was by the 14-year-old boy that was stabbed to death in Austria his name was Alex. He was stabbed to death by an Afghan immigrant who, when he was arrested, was just smiling. It's funny because the way they're behaving, it makes me think of MK Ultra stuff. Even though I know that they're immigrants or whatever it is, but the way they're behaving after they're being caught is like MK Ultra. It's like a CIA plan. So very interesting stuff. Now, also we have news from somebody has put together the amount grown by the boars. Okay, so the boars produce 95.3% of all corn, 96.9% of soybeans, 98.7% of wheat, 97% of cotton, 97% of citrus, 99% of potato, 91% of tomato, 89% of wool, 66% of cattle, and 95% of poultry. So very interesting, because if all of the farmers leave there, it's going to end up being like Zimbabwe. And it's just simply because when you farm for that many generations, you know how to, and it's a tough country. It's a dry and desert country, and yet they've figured out how to actually grow food successfully in it. And so, South Africa, if they don't change their path, they're going to end up being like Zimbabwe. They're all going to starve.
Look, I think I think there's another whole fight going on there. The Western world is the one that can control things and get things on a level playing field if we can continue to go forward like we are. But like we mentioned last night, we got RFK supposedly doing things, yet in the background here they are. Look at what they're doing with the chooks, and they're hitting them with the mRNA. They're going, the prices are through the roof. It's look, and I know it's going to be a hard battle, and I know there's still some people to be woken up, but we're looking at 70% of America awake to the goings on, and now more waking up daily with this Dodge stuff coming out, because it is just incredible. There's a lot of people pissed off, Caz, about where that money's been getting spent, or not even spent there. That's the laundering topic. That's the heading. Some of the money goes there to keep that alive, and the rest, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. All right, just really quickly around the world. Now, this is happening in Ireland. Really bad stuff's happening in Ireland. So they're in Essex. There were 800 migrants have been dumped on a village of 707 people. So, and they're having a really hard time. You've also got now, poor George Soros. So Prime Minister of Hungary has released the following statement about Soros and USAID. Our fears have come true. The globalist liberal Soros NGO network is fleeing to Brussels after President Trump dealt a huge blow to their activities in the US. Now, 63 of them are asking Brussels for money under the guise of various human rights projects. Not going to happen. We will not let them find a safe haven in Europe. The USAID files expose the dark practices of the globalist network, and we will not take the bait again. Viktor Orban said that. Also, this is a terrible footage. I didn't bring it in, but it shows very similar to what happened in Australia with it was just absolutely horrible. The Irish police, basically, the Gardaí, were assaulting the people. So it was terrible. They looked like the complete stormtroopers and everything. It's shocking, and all these people want to do is they just want to live in peace, and they don't want any more immigrants. They're being completely overrun. So anyway, look, all right, we're being taken out tonight by Jag Talks. The song is called Uni Party. So Dave, if you would like to wrap up and close the show.
Okay, yeah, buckle up, guys, because what you're seeing in Ireland is what they're going to try and force around the world. Okay, that's what they want. They want countries bucking up. They want the populations up with immigrants so that when the rise comes, you know what I mean, the immigrants are there, all right, and they are just going to use their UN jerks, all right, at this present time to do what they're doing. But the good thing is, all right, we are pushing back, all right, and we're going, well, you've seen Derek there. They're getting like they're getting the birth certificate into the courts, guys. Like, really, this is really good stuff. Okay, so we've got a lot going on. There's a lot of other court cases in the background that are happening. There's 71, 72 I know of that are stacked up that they won't deal with. So we've got all this sort of stuff going on, guys, all right? You know what we're in? we're in a pause without being in a pause, guys. All right, we're in a pause, but we're in flat out mode. All right, but the pause bit is we've got this pause of time that's going to be between the US getting what they've got to get done and the ripple effect getting to here. Okay, so that's where we are. We're in our own little pause now, Australia. All right, but we've got to fill the void of that pause. All right, because the UN's here and the globalists and this, synagogue of Satan is just coming in on us. Why? Because all the effort's over there, guys. All right, and it has to be over there. All right, they have to be able to save themselves before they can come and help the rest of us. All right, so in the meantime, we're on this crane clash as well. All right, so you got to be looking at where your mask is. All right, where you're getting your oxygen from, and if it gets bad, it gets bad, guys. All right. And if it doesn't and it just gets better, well, that's a great thing. But endure and overcome. That's what we're here for. Okay, so be prepared for whatever's coming because these guys are dirty. You know that. 5 years you've been in this now. I don't have to tell you. But I will keep reminding you why, because we need to have our head on the swivel, number one. We need to call out the bullshit, number two. All right, and we need to throw it back in their face, number three, because that's where we are, the art of war. All right, good night, guys. Thanks again.
We walk the streets and we all raise our voice, shouting for change, but we only have the illusion of choice. The party's divided, but their game's the same. Labour or Liberal, they're only different in name. I'm not voting Labour, I'm not voting Liberal. The truth is they're both full of shit. I'm not voting Labour, I'm not voting Liberal. Aussies have had enough, we're over it. They promise the world, but deliver shit. Election promises, we don't believe any of it. The government keeps spending, they can't get enough. Jobs for their mates, more snouts in the drop. I'm not voting Labour, I'm not voting Liberal. The truth is they're both full of shit. I'm not voting Labour, I'm not voting Liberal. Aussies have had enough, we're over it. We've seen the deception, we've heard the lies. So listen up, here's a word to the wise. Things stay the same if you don't change what you do. So wake up Australia, your kids are counting on you. If you vote Labour or Liberal thinking the trouble will pass, you need to remember that they're both cheeks on the same arse. They don't care about your job or the price of rent. They're a uni party with no bloody difference. I'm not voting Labour, I'm not voting Liberal. The truth is they're both full of shit. I'm not voting Labour, I'm not voting Liberal. Cause both Dutton and Albo are both fuckwits. So hear us now as we raise our voice. We're sick of the two parties and the myth of choice. We want representation that's fair for all, and not a uni party that delivers fuck all. So hear us now as we raise our voice. We're sick of the two parties and the myth of choice. We want representation